Good afternoon, everyone. So now we'll have a live session by FOSSI team member Sudhakar Kumar, who is going to show you how to create a file in R. So R Markdown file is used for creating reports. So hello, Sudhakar.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Yeah. So as ma'am mentioned that I am Sudhakar. I am working for FOSSI in the R, the R project actually, and I am also pursuing my masters in the Department of Systems and Control Engineering at IIT Bombay.
So please go ahead, Sudhakar. You can start your presentation.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. And I am assuming that my voice is audible to everyone attending this meeting or this session.
Yes, Sudhakar, it is very clear.
Yeah. So as ma'am mentioned that I will be discussing R Markdown, and in this session I will try to just scratch the surface of Markdown, and how to create a Markdown document using RStudio. That will be our main focus of this session. So I will first walk you through the basic concepts, or I think not concepts, the basic idea behind the Markdown document, and then I will also try to compare Markdown with markup language, because everyone have at some point of time we have heard about HTML, and that is hypertext markup language. So what is markup and what is Markdown? So I will just try to create a relation, or I will try to show how are these two things apart, or they are similar. We will talk about these things in a bit, and then I will try to show a very basic document using R Markdown. And so yeah, let's begin. So as I
Yeah,
discussed.
just a minute, Sudhakar. Sorry to actually interrupt you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, just wanted to have one announcement. We have shared our attendance sheet, attendance form in the chat window. Please actually give your attendance for the afternoon session. Yeah, thank you. Sudhakar, you can continue. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Yeah, so I will first begin with Markdown, and then I will like markup and how to use Markdown in RStudio and all these things we will talk about. So first of all, Markdown is a lightweight markup language. So it's not that Markdown and markup are two poles apart. In fact, Markdown is a markup language. In fact, in reality, so we will see like why Markdown was required when markup was already there in place. So why did we need Markdown down? So it's just a lightweight markup language for creating formatted text. By formatted we mean the the bold, emphasize, itemize, italics, everything what we can do. In fact, all of us, like right now this thing is in bold. Sometimes we also call it strong, we also call it strong text. So this is like itemized text. But of course, this slide has been prepared using LaTeX, so this has nothing to do with HTML or markup or Markdown language. But the idea is that in case of any formatting tool, we have to do these kind of things, like how to create a hyperlink, how to make the text strong, how to insert an image and everything. So likewise, this Markdown was created in 2004 by John Gruber and Aaron Swartz. And nowadays, if you I guess some of you might have seen the GitHub, and when you go to the readme file of GitHub, there you will realize that they use the Markdown language. Means you have to some kind of, you have to do some kind of techniques, like if you have to make things bold, then you do double star notation. And it's like I have also mentioned that GitHub readme and some kind of online forums, for example Stack Overflow is a very important tool for programmers at least. And people say that it has solutions for every problem which any software people can face at any point of time. So I think nowadays almost every platform, like online forums, readme files, they are using Markdown language because of its simplicity and its lightweight. We will discuss in the upcoming slides about comparison between Markdown and markup language. But right now I just wanted you to give the idea like what Markdown is, and where it is it being used primarily. So coming to now, what is markup? So I think HTML, all of you might have seen at some point of time, even if right now you must be using some kind of browser at your respective ends, like Google Chrome you might be using Firefox, anything you might be using. So all we know that HTML, web browser just compiles any HTML document. So web browser serves as a compiler for HTML language. So in case of HTML, we have markup concept. Now, and of course, in case of HTML, we have CSS, JavaScript, all these things. The people who are pro in web development, they can relate to these things. Like they have been using CSS and JavaScript for years now. But the point is like, if we are having a well-established markup language, then why do we need Markdown in the very first place? So I will try to discuss those things a bit. So for example, in if you guys know like markup language like HTML, so there we need to open everything. Like if you just this we call actually anchor tags. So opening anchor tags, then closing anchor tags, you can see everything is there, and it keeps on continuing like that. If you have to itemize or create a list, then you have to do some kind of li, some kind of ol. So somewhat it becomes a bit complex to write as we proceed, and if we have to add some image and all these things, so it becomes a bit complex. So by complexity, it means that from user perspective, if I have to write some formatted text in HTML, I will have to do all these kind of anchor tags opening. But in case of HTML, sorry, in case of Markdown, it's not the case. It's a bit simple as compared to markup. So I think that's why Markdown originated, and the creators of Markdown, they tried to leverage on the limitations of markup. This we can say as of now. So as I have mentioned here, that some forums definitely earlier, I guess couple of years back, I think Quora or many other platforms for that matter, they were using markup language. So whenever you are adding a question or adding an answer on the forum, or Quora for that matter, or Stack Overflow in fact, so there we used to have some kind of markup. Means if you click on bold, they will make it this anchor tags b, then closing b. So somewhat they were using markup language. But markup, there are certain limitations, or I should say there are certain security issues over there as well. So that I will discuss next. So the point is, in case of HTML markup, we can have some security attacks, because there someone can write some script, and then it might lead into the site leading to somewhere else. So that we call as cross-site security attacks. This you can always Google it and you will find more about it. But most importantly about HTML markup was ease of use. Means some of the users, they found it difficult to format the text using HTML, because I will show in the upcoming slide that if you have to do simple bold, then you have to do some kind of anchor tags b, then close anchor tags b. So that way things become a bit lengthy, or I should say bit uncomfortable. But in case of Markdown, those things have been eliminated. It's just a very few things, or very few notations that you have to use to get your things done. I will compare all these things in the upcoming slide. So this is like, these are the two main points or limitations of HTML or markup, in fact, on which Markdown was built actually. And nowadays Markdown, as you can see in case of GitHub, Stack Overflow, if you have ever tried to ask a question on Stack Overflow, I think I have that screenshots. I will show you in the upcoming slides. So there they use Markdown, and they are not using markup anymore. In fact, lot of forums, lot of GitHub is a very good example of it. They are using Markdown language nowadays, so it becomes simpler to use. So this is the logo of Markdown, and it's not about that Markdown is only with a particular language. It's a language, it's a tool. So right now almost all the languages, be it Python, be it R, because of the simplicity of Markdown, every language is trying to embed Markdown in some way or the other. If you guys have heard about Google Colab, so in case of Google Colab, we know that we can run some computationally expensive programs over there. And now the point is that if we have to write some text over there, so one way is we can write simply comments. There are different ways to document a code. We call it inline comments, we call it doc strings, and then the readme files. But inline comments, doc strings, they have certain limitations, because in case of inline comments, like the one we do in hash, and then the the comment in R or any language in fact, so then we cannot write beyond a certain length, because a comment, a inline comment of say 100 words, that won't be readable, or it won't be comprehensible. So the point is that you have to be readable at the same time. So then the Markdown is the best way, and I will show in the upcoming slides. So nowadays Google Colab, Python notebook, if you have used Jupyter notebook at some point of time, you will feel that in case of Jupyter notebook also we can create Markdown in Python language. But the idea is that the Markdown syntax will remain the same, be it any platform, be it Python, be it R. But the point is, in case of R Markdown, we can use the Markdown, plus we can also embed the code of our programming language. Similarly, in case of Python, Markdown syntax will be the same, but the Python syntax will change. If you like some text, then Python code. So that text will remain the same across all the languages, but the syntax of Python and R, of course, they are different. So Markdown is a tool which can be embedded with like R, Python, and other tools as well. If you have heard about MATLAB, they also have live script, but I think Markdown in case of Python and R is, I find it a bit better as compared to those tools. So yes, so coming to a brief comparison between markup and markdown. So in case of, like you have, if some of you have developed a web page or website at some point of time, you would have felt that in case of heading, like we have H1 to H6 in case of HTML. So depending on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it will change the size and format of that text. But in case of markdown, we can simply use a hash symbol, and now we can increase the number of hash symbol to get the things done from H1 to H6. So you see, means the requirement of anchor tags has been completely eliminated in case of markdown. So you see, in case of strong or bold, we just need to put text in between two stars. We just need to put the text over here. So that way things become simpler. And of course, the point is, after using it for quite some time, when you remember all the syntaxes of markdown, then you will find it bit user friendly. And at first it might seem daunting or terrifying, but it's not the case. The syntax is pretty simple, and once you start writing, you will feel that things are quite easy, and it will get your things done in a very easy manner or convenient manner, in fact. So these are some of the comparisons. Of course, we can keep on writing all the syntax of HTML and the markdown, so that we can definitely do. But the idea is just to give you an glimpse of the difference between the syntax of HTML and markdown. So these are some of the differences, and we can see how these two things work, and how simpler markdown has become eventually. So yes, these are some of the websites. Like in case of GitHub, if you want to write the readme, if you want to write the readme file and all these things, like here you can see that in case of bold, we can use these things. Of course, I have used this text here in my slides, definitely. So you can see, you can refer to these websites for formatting your syntax in GitHub readme, or in fact any markdown document. So these are some of the examples. And similarly, if you go on Stack Overflow, if I am logged in, yeah, so yes, I think I am already logged in. So see, if you want to write, I will delete this for a while, and suppose I want to write I will write Fossey, and then I have to make it bold. So see, if I click on here, it just, what it did, it simply attached two stars, at the prefix at the end and the start, in fact. Similarly, if I again write Fossey and I want to make it italics, then I will click on here. So see, it becomes I will keep it here. So you see, the point is that it's very simple to use, and you can also see the output, like here the Fossey in bold and here the Fossey in italics. Similarly, the things become very, so this is Stack Overflow, where you can see how they have embedded markdown language now. And the point is that it is secure, and it's very easy to use. So these things you can also find in case of GitHub readme as well. So yes, coming back to our slides. So yes, it is being used in GitHub, Reddit, Stack Overflow. Definitely, I have not used Reddit before, but yeah, GitHub I have definitely used. I have also seen how the readme files work over there. And in case of Stack Overflow, we simply saw it right now, that how they have used this this markdown thing. So these are just a very few examples. Right now, if you think of any online platform or instant messaging platform, they are using markdown. So yeah, so now we can talk about R Markdown, which is our main focus. But until this point, I just tried to show you the difference between Markdown and Markup. In fact, Markdown is a lightweight markup language. There is no difference between these two. It's not that they are doing some south and north thing. They are the same thing, but the way to achieve certain thing is different. The modus operandi is different somehow. So yeah, so now we can talk about R Markdown. So definitely, again, you, while using RStudio, you will have to install certain packages that I will show in the next slide. And so as we have seen that it gives you a very unique document or file where you can execute your code, and you also get the output file. and that output file can be a PDF, can be an HTML or a doc format. So many a time when we are submitting our assignments, we have to write some kind of, for example, I will show you this in a while. So we want to write some some text that like I am going to do this and this. Then we write some code. Then we expect the output to be displayed in that file itself, and then we again write some sections, some images, everything we want to do in that. So that we call project report. So in case of Markdown, things become easier. Like you just write your text, whatever you want, with proper sections, with proper heading, and then you can write your code in R, and that code will be automatically executed. Now there are flexibility, like if you do not want certain code chunk to be executed, you can set some parameters, and then that code will not be executed in your file. If you want to hide the code, there is also some command. If you want to hide the output, there is also some command. So it is becoming very flexible and useful at the same time. And most importantly, if you share the Markdown file, the source file, with someone, that person can easily create a PDF file out of your document. So just the RMD file and the corresponding images and data sets, everything, and then the PDF file. So that way you are having the output and the source file both. So I guess that's why Markdown documents are fully reproducible and supports a lot of formats. I know three formats till now, like I mentioned, like doc, HTML, and PDF. So coming to the next slide. So now if you want to install Markdown in RStudio, then you have to install this particular package. Okay. So if you are, suppose like many of you would have installed RStudio for the first time, so definitely you will not be having this package on your machine right now. So if you try to open a Markdown file, I will show you how to open a new Markdown file. So there, if you click on new Markdown file, it will automatically ask you that, it will send you a prompt that I want to install this packages, and it will do the needful for you. That's not a big deal. But the point is that if you want to have a PDF file out of your Markdown document, then in that case, you need to have LaTeX installed on your machine, because LaTeX, RStudio does not have LaTeX by default. So you have to install LaTeX. But because of HTML and doc, you do not need to install anything extra. If you, but yeah, but many a time we need PDF document, we want to share the file, send the file across several places, we want to show it to our friends, professors, so then PDF you might need. So I guess in the instruction email which have been sent to you, there are some instructions on how to install LaTeX. But right now I will show you, I have already installed all these things on my machine, so I will show you how to create a PDF file, how to create an HTML and everything. But if you want to try these things at your end, you need to have LaTeX before getting a PDF. But yeah, HTML you can definitely get. So now I will show you how to create a Markdown file. Of course, I believe that these files will be released at some point of time, so you can always try to reproduce these things at your own end. So, and I guess as I have been informed that all the assignments, they have to be submitted in Markdown. So it's a very good point to start with. And if time permits, I can also take a couple of questions if time permits, definitely. And so yeah, so without further ado, I would like to show you the output of a file, in fact. So I will first show you a PDF file, how a PDF file of R Markdown looks like. So I have stored it somewhere on my machine, and I will just open the PDF file first for you. So see, this is a kind of a PDF file which have been generated using a Markdown in R. So you can see here we are having indexes as well, because we have customized these things as some sections. So here we are able to see the different sections over here. And these sections I will show you in the RStudio, that they are, we do not need to write something h in like in HTML. We have simply used hash symbol in our source file. So here you can see that we are having a very good text. Okay, it's not a comment, it's a proper text. And there and here, this is the code chunk, and it's not an image, it's simple. We can copy it and you can paste it if you want. Then it is the output of the code. So whenever I run the RMD file, and if I want the output of this code chunk to be executed, I can simply get these things. And now you can see that I have also have a plot over here. Then I have discussed about these plots, and then I have also inserted an image, several, and also the references thing. So see, this way we are having a full-fledged document where we are having everything, like how to insert an image, a graph, normal text, everything. So if you are are asked to write a report on certain things where there are some code chunks, some plots are there, so I think Markdown will be a very good tool for you. But yeah, if you are having a simple some running text like this, some text only, then of course you can go for LaTeX as well. But I think in case of data visualization, and since all of you are here for learning data science or data analysis tasks, so I think in that case you should focus on learning how to use Markdown. And like some of you might be using Google Colab, so there you have seen that we can use LaTeX equations as well. In case, in fact, in Markdown as well we can do that. So we can also insert equations, images, tables, everything. So why not use Markdown for getting everything in a single place? So yeah, now coming, so this is the output file. I will now show you the corresponding source file of this. So I will open RStudio, and of course I have already created all these things, like I am having RMD file. So this is the source file. This is the source file, and I think it's already open over here. I will just close it for the sake of completion. And so yeah, so this is the actual Markdown file, and we just saw the output of this particular file. So if I do side by side, so you can see the title was here. So see, title was like here, demonstration of using Markdown in RStudio. So see, title was here. These kind of things we're already having here. We can also add author's name here if you want. So now coming back to this file. So first of all, I will show you how to open this in RStudio. So I am assuming that you are having RStudio on your machine. So if you want to try, you can try it later. So the point is, if I click on file, I go on new file, and then I find, uh, R Markdown. Okay, so these file, new file, then R Markdown. There are several other options which even I need to explore, but right now we are focusing mainly on R Markdown. So if you click on it, it will show you an option. Now see the best part. You can also create a simple document, which I showed you right now, and you also have a presentation. In fact, now I will focus, so you can explore these things later. You might have heard about PPT and Beamer, these things, so you can do everything over here. So it's a proper bundle in itself, where you don't need to go here and there. You can do everything over here, like documentation, PPT, everything. So now in document case, we have title over here, so I can write title whatever I want, then author's name, then output format what I want. Usually I prefer to have PDF, but you can see it have mentioned that PDF output requires LaTeX and all these things. So yeah, so just a word of caution. If you are rendering a PDF file, you need to have LaTeX beforehand. Without it, it will throw some error. There are several other tools like Tiny LaTeX and all these things, but yeah, you can explore these, but it's good to have a full-fledged LaTeX on your machine. So I will cancel this, since I have already created an RMD file beforehand. So I can write these things, but I think we do not have that much time, so I will just close it for a while, and then we will start on looking on this particular document. So see, this is the title, and you can think like, what is this pipe or slash n doing? So this is simple, a single line means, as you see in the document, we are having in the next line. So this is just a next line instruction. This is just a next line. I think slash n works in C and other programming languages as well, so it should not be new for you. So slash n, and if you Google it, like how to split the sentence in Markdown, then you will get to know this very easily. Now coming to a few things like output file. Okay, so output means what do you want to have an output? So I have mentioned PDF. I can also create an HTML even if I have mentioned PDF. Now bibliography means we can have a references file created, and like here I have, yeah, so references, and I can keep all my references over here, and then I can call it in my document. If you do not have heard about, you might have heard about references and citations in your research papers. So there you add bibliography, and I think this is one of the way we can add bibliography in our documents. So yeah, so coming back to the RMD file, now these are the basic preamble. Preamble means that we want this code to, like, whenever you click on new RMD file, and if I click on OK, you will get these things automatically, like setup knitr. Knitr is the tool which is used to generate RMD to PDF. So then you see these things are already over here. if I create a simple RMD file. Now I will go over here. So now see, hash. So hash means I was having this section over here like data frame for analysis. So I simply used one hash. So it becomes head, it is equivalent to h1 in HTML, the first level of header. If I use double hash, then it will become sub level in fact. So similarly, I have used I have written some text, and see, it's not a comment, it's a simple text. In fact, it's a simple text. So I have written a text. Now I have inserted a code chunk. So if you go here and click on code, you will find insert chunk option. So if I click on it, see, now this is a code chunk. So this will be taken as a code file, and in this grayed area, you have to write everything in a code syntax format, in a proper syntax format, like I have written here over here. So I will undo it for a while. So see, I am just reading a movies data CSV file. I think you will see this file in our scripts, as in our tutorials as well. And now see, like I wanted to make the movies word bold, so I simply did it like this, double star and then all these things. So see how simple it is, rather doing lot of things in markup, like anchor tag B, then close anchor tag B, all these things. We can simply add double star and it's done, our job is done. You can see the movie is in bold over here. Movie, if I will zoom it, movie is in bold over here. So it's very simple. The point is that it's a very simple and it's a lightweight tool. So now coming again, so these are I have tried to make a document with some text and some commands. Of course you can execute any command of any length in your Markdown documents, but I have just tried to give you a flavor of what things. In fact, I could not cover all of them, what a few things we can do out of a lot of things. So now if I want to plot a chart, so see, I have created another section, another heading like hash, then plotting a bar chart. In case of markup, I would have to write anchor h1, then closing anchor h1 and all these things, but here it's simple. Now see, for bold, I am just doing this thing, double star, and we are done. Now this is the, see, this is the itemized thing. Like itemize means, like if I want to have bullet points thing, so see here, like see these things, data is either a vector or these bullet points. So if you want to do this in markup language, what will you do? You will write li and then list ol and all these things we have to do. But here we simply wrote star and we are done. See, we are done. Simple star, then the next sentence, star, next sentence, and we are done. No opening, no closing anchor text, nothing at all. So it's very simple and it's very easy to learn in fact, and it also give you the output very quick. Like if I click on neat, so I will first show you how to create an HTML document. See, so HTML, if I click on it, it will give me an HTML file if everything goes okay. Yeah, so see, this is the HTML file. Yeah, so this is the HTML file, and it will also give you the HTML doc code as well, so you can always embed it on your web page if you want to. So this is the HTML document, and the output is this one. Okay, in web browser. Yeah, see, so this is the proper HTML document, and by using this code, I can always use it in my everywhere where we want to, because sometimes we want to host certain things on our website. So in that case, we can use HTML. So see the the various dynamic output formats which we are getting by using this Markdown. So now okay, now I will show you the PDF thing. Of course, that is the same PDF which I have showed you a couple of minutes back. So this is the the PDF, it is being generated, and you see it also does a lot of things in between. So now I will be getting the PDF file which is already open, and now we can also see the doc file, Word in fact. So I'm not sure about the formatting, how it will do the formatting in Word. I'm not much sure, but let us see how it goes. So we are having the doc file over. If I click on it, hopefully it should get opened. Okay, let's go to the folder where it is creating all these files. So in case of see the Word file, it will use the LibreOffice to open this document. So okay, let us wait for a second before it gets loaded, and then we will move further. Yeah, so LibreOffice, and then see this is the document which is in Word. See, everything is pretty easy, like bold, everything is clearly visible. Everything is clearly visible. Of course, in case of PDF, you get a portable document format, but Word, anyone can edit it, right? So that is the basic difference between a Word document and a PDF document. So every you are having a lot of options to choose from depending upon your requirement. And now I will close this as well. So these are some of the several aspects which we can do, and I will also show you how to insert an image, right? Like, see, in case of inserting an image, of course I ensured that this image file is in the same directory which I am currently working on. And if you do not want to have in the same, then you can write the path of that file. Ideally, it's a good practice to keep all the dependency inside a single folder and make that folder as current working directory. I think you would have seen the tutorial number 3 or 4, I guess, on our website. So there we have taught on how to set a working directory. So it's a very good practice to keep the files in a single folder and make that as a working directory. So now you see I have inserted an image over here, the logo of Fossey, and then I have set like caption, the width, everything we can tweak. Alignment as well we are having over here. So depending upon your requirement, you can always search on the internet, and you can find there are several resources, because Markdown is being very popular. In fact, it was invented 2004, it was created, but nowadays almost all the forums they are using it. And all the documents, online forums, Stack Overflow, GitHub, they are using it on a very large scale. So if you can start using it, or if you start using it right now, so I think it will be very helpful for you in your upcoming career or your upcoming academic life, whatever you are pursuing right now. So I think these are the things which I wanted to discuss. And I guess we have few more minutes, so maybe we can take a few questions, or whatever the ma'am says, we can do that.
Thank you, Sudhakar. So we are ready to take few questions. We have some time.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there is a question in the chat box, if you can answer that.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah.
So, sir, how we have converted R Markdown file to HTML file? Yeah, could you please repeat here? That's it.
Okay, so HTML file. So here we are having an option called knit. If you see here, knit, and then knit to HTML. And if I click on it, it will automatically generate the HTML document and the file for us.
Knit to HTML.
Yes, knit to HTML. Yeah, that's it. So see, we are having and if I click on this HTML document, then it will show me all the proper HTML language files. See, we are having the HTML code over here. Like, if you can relate it, of course, it's a bit messy, or I can say it's a not normal file, because it is doing a lot of things on our own. So at least we can understand that, this is an HTML file, but of course we can clean it.
Is it possible to develop a standalone web application app? Is it possible using Markdown?
I guess, sir, for that we have Shiny. Shiny.
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot R Shiny. Okay.
Yeah, Shiny.
Yeah, I remember. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you please cover at least about R Shiny, either by tomorrow or day after tomorrow? Possible.
Shiny. I am not that comfortable with Shiny, okay. But maybe we can put some document and we can share with you in a while. But I am not that comfortable with Shiny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, due to shortage of time, we are not going to cover our Shiny thing because it is a bit advanced programming you require. So, and we are starting with the basic R programming.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question? Somebody asked, will the assignment be sent to our register emails? No, we have shared one study material document with you. We have already uploaded assignments in that folder. You can refer it and solve all the practice problems. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, someone is asking, where do we submit it? Somajit Sardar, where do we submit it?
Yeah, as Professor Kandan also mentioned earlier, you are not going to submit your assignments anywhere. You will just keep it with you, and tomorrow after we have the discussion, we are going to actually upload all the solution in the same folder. Okay, you can check your assignments and compare it with the solution provided. Okay, and still if you have any questions, you can write back to us on contact-r@fossey.in. Okay, any other questions related to R Markdown file? I hope you all have understood and found it very useful.
Yes, ma'am.
So the thing is, here I would like to mention that in the assignment, I hope Sudhakar you have created assignment for them. So the thing is, you are supposed to create one R Markdown file today in the evening, and actually use that file for from tomorrow for completing all your assignments. All your assignments will be actually done using R Markdown file. All the codes you will write in that R Markdown file. So the thing is, all the assignments will be in one file. So once you run it at the end of the workshop, all the assignments, all the work, whatever we have asked you to do it, will be in one file. It will be like a report for you. If somebody asks you what all you have done during this workshop, so this is the answer. You can show them. See, we have done using one data set. Here, what we are going to do is we are actually going to give you only one data set. On that one data set, you will be doing all the assignments. Okay. So it is like a report. What with one data set, what all one can do, you can see it at the end. So you will not believe that okay, I have done all these things only on one data set. So you know if you get some data and what to do with that data, how to do analysis, how to visualize the data, all that you are going to learn during these 3 days. Okay. So it is very important. If you have any questions related to R Markdown, please ask here so that without any problem, you should be able to create R Markdown file and use that from tomorrow. Yes, you may get the recording, but right now, basically, we don't have any portal where we can share it. Another thing is there is some concerns related to participants. So we will have to get no objection from all the participants before we share these recordings. That's where generally it gets stuck. So I can't guarantee you that we'll be sharing all the recording. We have all the recording. We are recording all the sessions. It will be with us. Okay. But right now, I don't have a perfect answer for you. Yes, we understand that you can actually go through it again. If you get stuck anywhere, you can check it again. We understand that. So we will definitely think about it.
Yeah, we will work on it and we will share. You will find some common platform by which we can share the files.
Yes. So, Sudhakar, do you have any additional material on the R Markdown? Do you want to share anything? If you have anything, we will share it in our folder.
Yeah, ma'am, we can share these files, the source file which I use right now, and we can also share the slides so that they can get an idea whenever they want. And
Yeah.
I think this.
I think I have already done it. It is there in the day one folder.
Okay, great. Then they're already having access to all the files which we are using right now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so they can anyway they can practice and they can make changes in that file. They can write some text in bold, italics, everything, so that they can check like whether they have got the idea or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, first I suggest that you can start actually creating HTML file, doc file,
Yes.
and then go for the PDF file.
Yeah.
Because then you'll have to download LaTeX, you may face some problem. So it is fine if you can actually render this R Markdown file for HTML. So that is also fine. Just try one format.
Yeah, the idea is that they learn means that they start using a Markdown, and later,
Correct.
of course, PDF file. These things can come later, but yeah, they need to start using that thing first.